It's all about this amazing place, a home that we all can share. Listen to the music, see the sights to see. We got a very scenic university. VSU in my heart, VSU in my heart. Listen to the music, sing with us a song. VSU in my heart.
There is so much this school has given me, the sunsets and truths beside commodity. Oh, how can I repay?
Listen to the music, sing it cheer to cheer at the Visayas State University. VSU in my heart, VSU in my heart. Listen to the music, sing with us a song. VSU in my heart.
Well, it's here at the Visayas State University.
VSU in my heart, VSU in my heart. Listen to the music, sing us a song. VSU in my heart, VSU in my heart,
VSU in my heart.
A minute of prayer at 3 o'clock in the afternoon for the forgiveness of sins, for peace in our country and the world, and the conservation of our forests. 3 o'clock in the afternoon is the hour of great mercy. At this time, our Lord Jesus Christ died on the cross and redeemed the world.
You died, Jesus, but the source of life flowed out for souls, and the ocean of mercy opened up for the whole world. O fountain of life, immeasurable divine mercy, cover the whole world and empty yourself out upon us. O blood and water, which flowed out from the heart of Jesus as a fountain of mercy for us, I trust in you. Holy God, Holy Mighty One, Holy Immortal One, have mercy on us and the whole world. Holy God, Holy Mighty One, Holy Immortal One, have mercy on us and the whole world. Holy God, Holy Mighty One, Holy Immortal One, have mercy on us and the whole world. Amen. Jesus, King of mercy, we trust in you.
This is DYDC-FM 104.7, your development campus radio, broadcasting from the beautiful campus of the Visayas State University, Visca, Baybay City, Leyte, Philippines.
VSU Radio, DYDC.
Wow, Ben! Ninduta gud ang imong gidrawing. Nature man na, oy! May pakapin balak pa yun ay. Para asa di ay na?
Practice pa ko ani Jen. Isubmit unya ni nako sa amuang eskwelahan sa kahanginan or School on the Air.
Ha? Asa man na dapita? Aw, sa DYDC-FM, katong kabahin sa School on the Air o SOA on Visual Arts para sa mga junior ug senior high school teachers ug students sa MAPE ug Special Program in the Arts sa DepEd.
Correct lagi ka, Jen.
Ako pa? Tigpaminawan baya og avid fan ko sa DYDC FM 104.7 para malang di ay na sa taga-Baybay City o Southern Leyte Schools Divisions. Pero pwede gihapon ng uban makapaminaw sa DYDC kung ganahan sila. Libre ra.
Lagi, swerte gud ko nga naka-appeal ko ani. Taga East-West Center o EWC sa Honolulu, Hawaii, USA ang sponsor sa SOA on Visual Arts for Mental Health and Environment.
Mao ba? Gikan sa Amerika. Nahala, pag ayo-ayo migo. Tudloi unya ko sa imuha makatunan sa SOA ha. Bye.
The Visayas State University, through the Department of Development Communication and DYDC-FM 104.7, in partnership with the East-West Center, EWC, and Honolulu, Hawaii, USA, and the two schools divisions of the Department of Education, DepEd, Baybay City Schools Division, Leyte, and Southern Leyte Schools Division, proudly presents
The School on the Air, or SOA on Visual Arts for Mental Health and Environment. A radio school program that will educate visual arts among teachers and students who are into music, arts, physical education, and health. MAPE and Special Program in the Arts, SPA of the DepEd as our SOA participants.
This is to improve their quality of education, create awareness, and promote mental health and well-being,
as well as environmental protection among our SOA participants.
SOA on Visual Arts for Mental Health and Environment.
Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 3 o'clock in the afternoon, Philippine Standard Time.
And now, please welcome the two radio hosts of this SOA program.
All right, good afternoon again, participants, and welcome to another learning session of the School on the Air on Visual Arts for Mental Health and the Environment. I'm Buen Andrade.
And I'm Perlin Fernandez. Good afternoon to all of you.
Hello, Visayas State University, VSU, and to the SOA project team, the Department of Education, DepEd Baybay City and Southern Leyte Schools Divisions, MAPE, SPA teachers and students who are our SOA participants, and to everyone tuning in to over DYDC FM 104.7 to this special radio program today. I hope you're all doing well.
All right, Buwan, no? So before anything else, let's first have our customary roll call. No? So andam na ba kahang atong participants, no? So let's start with the participants from Baybay City Schools Division. Okay, so dating gawi, no? Kindly,
Dating gawi.
kindly unmute your mic and open your cameras. Ready na bang tanan? All right, so you're gonna say aloha again. Together, all right? So ready, get set, go!
Aloha!
Alright, magamay.
Oh, katugon siguro, bueno. Atong balikon. Atong balikon, no? Coming from our participants from Baybay City Schools Division. Ready, set, go!
Aloha!
Alright, usara ka buo.
Usara jud kay usara si Sir. Aloha.
Anyway, so virtual clap, no?
Virtual clap for them, no? Katong ni ano no ni Aloha. And how about our participants from the Southern Leyte Schools Division? Are you all ready? Okay, ready, get set, go.
Aloha.
Aloha.
All right. Thank you so much, Southern Leyte Schools Division.
Virtual clap for them. Great job, SOA participants.
Right, so good job, you guys. So in the last learning session, we all learned about the three basic shapes, no, that are always present in nature. Unsa man to? These are circle, square, and the triangle, no? And we were also taught about the different drawing techniques of rendering shapes of objects. Can you still remember these 6 techniques?
Unsa man to, Buwan?
So these are structuration, manipulation, observation, education, imitation, and imagination.
Alright, so unsa man pud ning structuration, no? Oh, so na ay mga
Very good, no?
tubag, very good, nakahinumdum pa. So, if you can still remember, structuration, according to Sir Jude, is to understand the basic structure of objects and their relation to space, no? It is the first step naman in gaining confidence on how to draw anything. Structuring involves knowing how to use the basic shape, as reference in outlining objects and how they appear in a particular position in a space. Thus, a little knowledge on drawing outlines and perspective is very important.
Right. So on manipulation, it is manipulation of shapes. No, gives you the freedom to stretch, compress, or modify the basic shapes. Now, this is especially valuable when you are dealing with a natural object like a trunk or a branch of a tree. And also, in our exercise, in your exercise, you were able to manipulate the different shapes.
And next naman is the observation, trying to understand the relationship of the parts of what you are seeing and also understanding how they work together. So ang effective observation daw involves effective seeing like an artist or having an artist's eye. By observing the characteristics between two different species of trees, you will be able to convincingly draw them.
Okay, and the fourth is education, by studying and researching about the things that interests you. So education is by reading books or referring to experts or looking at works of artists whom you admire. And the fifth is imitation, or in our layman's term, or in Cebuano, musundog.
Musundog,
So or taking inspiration from other works or works of other artists who have already developed their own signature style.
That's right. And the last technique is imagination. Amo ni ang amalgamation daw bueno or kining pag-combine
together
sa tanan.
yeah.
Of the other 5 techniques which allows you to come up with your own style, whether you have a reference to copy or not.
And I think based on the exercises that were sent through our Google Classroom and the ones you shared on our Facebook group, we can actually see, and we are really proud that murag na apply, they were able to apply.
Yes,
what
tinod
they
kay
have
ilang
learned.
mga outputs buwan.
Yes.
Congratulations sa atong mga participants nga labi na sa nag-upload sa ilang outputs
Yes.
sa atong Facebook group.
And again, we encourage everyone to upload their works, their progress on our FB group, and of course on our Google Classroom. Okay.
All right, so before we proceed, we would like to remind those who have not yet answered the assessments or submitted their exercises to accomplish them, i-accomplish na taon as soon as possible. So we need to stress out the importance of accomplishing the exercises and answering the quizzes for you to graduate in this SOA. Happy tara ba buwan,
Yes, so we are already on our third week, so 3 weeks to go na lang. And of course, sa ato pang panultihon ang ang tambal sa pagkalimot or sa imong pagkakalimot, ang pagpainomdom ra gyud. So at this point, let's remind our our students or participants on the learning assessments and exercises that they need to submit. So far, for our first quiz, we have already 118 of 120 na ang nagka-submit. And then for the second quiz, 118 of 120 participants. So very good, And then for the first resource person evaluation, all have submitted. So congratulations.
Very good.
And for the second resource person evaluation, we have 114 na ang nag-submit out of 120. So we only need 6 na lang, So sa katong wala pa, please submit it.
na.
Yeah. And again, thank you so much atong teachers, ug sa atong tanan nga who facilitated this submission.
Yes.
Okay, and for Southern Leyte, sa Module 1 Learning Assessment, 50 over 60 na. So we only need 10 na lang, Alright, so please be mindful, sa katong wala pa. Module 2, Exercise 1, 54 out of 60 ang nag-submit. Very good. For Module 3, Exercise 1, which is last meeting nato is 11 of 60. So napay daghano, but again no pressure pa,
No pressure.
Okay. For bye-bye, sa Module 1 Learning Assessment, we have 46 over 60. So napay around 14 kabuok ang wala nakasubmit sa learning assessment with Ma'am Marwen. For Module 2, Exercise 1, 44 of 60, so around 16 pa ang wala ka-submit. And for Module 3, Exercise, which is last meeting, 7 of 60. So again, reminding everyone. Okay.
Yes, so we request our teachers and MAPE, SPS supervisors to assist us, no, in making sure nga atong estudyante nagpasa sa ilang mga exercises.
Okay.
All right. Okay, so before we proceed, no, let's first play a game, Buen, no? Para kuan ka ng pampawag tang sa kanang katugon.
Alright, so tumo na sila. Are you guys up for a little game?
Yes.
Ganahan mo game?
Hello? Ganahan mo game din no? All right, so what we will do is we will flash. Yes, the one. No,
that's the
medyo
game.
delay. Okay, so what we will do is we will flash a word on the screen and tell us or type in the chat box what word picture you can think to describe it.
So for example, no? Just for an example, let's use the word environment, no? So mag-flash mix words sa screen nga environment. So in my mind, I think of environment as tree or mountain or the globe, no? So another example is peace or kalinaw, no? So in my mind, it means or it represents the peace sign or a handshake or the dove, no? So did you get the how our
We
game
will play the game.
no?
Okay ba nga atong game karon nakasabot ba ang tanan? Okay, so mag-flash
sila kay mga bright man na sila.
mga brightness na no. Mag-flash mig bird and
So
then
we'll flash a word and then paunahay lang or you can type in the our chat box what you think or unsa may mong answer no for the screen for the word that we'll be flashing. Okay?
Okay.
So ready? Okay, here it is. We'll flash one word on the screen. Wait lang ha.
Okay, kadali lang. All right, kadali.
Okay.
But we would like to say hi di I know sa atong mga viewers buwan naman no via Facebook.
Okay, and well, let's just grab this opportunity to greet them and read their messages. No, from Sils, isuda pa. Ligid Platon, good day guys. Watching here from Hinunangan High School, a participant of SOA Mental Health and the Environment Southern Leyte. From Sharni Faye Ensho, watching from SPNHS, San Francisco District. No, okay, and mayong hapon. Good afternoon.
Okay, so here's our first word.
First word. So you can type in the chat box and then we'll read, no? What you think or what comes in your mind when when that word is flashed on the screen? Okay. Naana ba yung nag-answer? Okay, let me see, no? Okay, so we have, nindot, no? There are a lot of answers. Hidilin, game, sports, sports, no? 3 rings. Hidilin Diaz. So, nindot, no?
Champion.
Okay, ansa pa, no? We have here gold. Oh, very good, no?
Competition.
Okay, sports. Jade from Babagay BCHS. Competition, medal. Competitive sports. Event, games, weightlifting. Okay, yan po, no? Trophies, sports games, sponsor, athletes, coaches. Awards, very good. All right, so thank you kayo, no? So, virtual clap. Wala tayo premium. Anyways,
Virtual clap.
Yeah, so here's another word na po that we will flash on the screen.
How about this one? The word is health.
From Donna Grace, no, Country's Pride. Oh, COVID, hospital. So what else? From Jennifer Lingutan is wealth. From Abuda, virus, nurse, medicine, important, cure, vaccine, COVID, mind, body, and spirit. MAPE. Very good, no? So, nindot kayo ang atong mga interactions karon. Mas paspas ni kontra sa magsulti sila, no? Frontliners, very good. MAPE, doctors and nurses, very good, no?
Oy, na feel health.
Feel health. Life, heal, energy. All right?
Nice.
Very good, no? Okay, so
Very...
Anyways, there's no right and wrong answer there,
Yes,
ma'am. But
oo.
again, no, is what you envision, no? All right. So
let's
here's
go.
another. Siguro, two more words.
2 more words, okay?
Alright.
How about this one?
How about this?
COVID.
Immune system, virus, vaccine,
Prayer. Nice.
prayer, virus, no? Pandemic, 2020.
Wellness.
Death, pwede gihapon, no? Funeral,
Funeral.
plague, lockdown,
Lockdown.
very good. Fear, sakto word gihapon. Delta, pandemic,
Pandemic.
pain, quarantine. Depression, pwede gihapon.
Eradicate.
Okay gihapon, no? Alright, so thank you so much, guys, no? Worries,
Worries.
pwede gihapon,
Pwede
no?
gihapon. Right, so let's go to our last word.
Last
Juan.
word, last
Okay,
word.
last word.
We have
Happiness.
happiness. So what comes into your mind when you see or you think of the word happiness? Love from Bye Bye City. SOA, Art, Gugma, family from Bye Bye City.
Nice.
Serotonin, anime, God,
God.
peace, contentment,
Emotion.
music, nature,
Happiness is
Birds.
birds. Oh, birds, no? Happy, satisfaction, a must-have. Being satisfied.
fulfillment.
Reading. Oh, if you're reading, you become happy. No? Songs. Face to face. Pwede sad, no? Kanang magkita na gid mo.
Face
No?
to face.
Fulfillment. Smile. Ice cream.
Video
Video
games.
games. Family.
Napa?
Alright, so very nalingaw ko
Oy,
sa atong
Nyla,
everything.
everything.
Family, no? Okay, so muna siya atong mga responses and again,
Yes,
guys,
napoy,
thank
ano
you so
diri
much.
no? Mga responses. Thank you sa respond diri sa
sportsmanship,
kuan.
mental. Okay,
Diri sa atong Facebook Live. Thank you so much.
This the
Okay.
concept.
Alright.
Okay, so guys, did you have fun? So actually, no, the game we just played, no, is somehow related to our lesson for today. So in today's lesson, Professor Jude Noni A. Salas will teach us about visualization and juxtapositioning.
All right. So at the end of this lesson, you should be able to distinguish, no, the basic techniques in visualizing and juxtapositioning. So, siguro you might have come across in this term, no, in juxtapositioning. All right. And you should also be able to render words and concepts into drawings and visualization, or using visualization and juxtapositioning techniques.
And appreciate the importance of visualization and juxtapositioning in drawing imaginary and actual objects.
All right.
Right, so guys, get yourselves comfortable now. Listen to it.
And make sure to take down notes, no, and enjoy the second learning session of Module 3, which is visualization and juxtapositioning, no? Okay, and again, I would like to remind everyone to put their microphones on mute while the lesson is still going on. And also, please have your drawing materials handy for our activity today.
Okay.
Right, so here it is.
Hi there, SOA participants. Do you see this? This is an empty shell of a Japanese snail. For this lesson, we will be discussing about visualization and juxtapositioning in Lesson 2, Module 3. This shell will be used as our model for my demonstration in the studio. For your part, I will require you to choose several objects that you can relate to the chosen concepts that I will indicate in my demonstration. Visualization is a way to turn a word or an abstract concept into a picture to make it easier to understand. Visualizations help us begin to make sense of the information, find patterns within it, and use it to answer questions about the world. A visualization is meant to communicate something to the people who look at it. The first step in designing a visualization is deciding what is intended to communicate. Whereas juxtapositioning is trying to relate two unrelated objects or concepts into one product. The easiest way is to be familiar with the basic geometric shapes, such as the circle, square, and triangle, and try to juxtapose them to everyday objects around us. By doing this, it will facilitate a better understanding of how shapes or forms are constructed. I will show you how visualization and juxtapositioning is carried out. It is best to combine the two approaches when working on your creative concepts for an artwork. I will be using my sketchbook and pencil as well as eraser for the demonstration. While watching my demonstration, you may also go along with me with your own sketchbook and pencil. Later, you will be making your assignment related to this lesson. The instruction will be posted on our Google Classroom for this session. There are two basic techniques where you can effectively use visualization and juxtapositioning together. The first technique that I will present to you will use a real object as a reference of visualization and juxtaposition. I will be using the empty shell of a snail for this demonstration. The basic question is, what concept can you think and envision when you see a shell of a snail? The concept is largely personal and differs from one person to another. This technique is popular among conceptual artists who come up with concepts that are most of the time out of this world or out of the box. second technique is using a word or words as a concept to visualize and juxtapose. I will use the word love. The basic question is, what can you think and envision when you hear or read the word love? Again, the concept is largely personal on how one will interpret a word or concept into something concrete and visual. This technique is popular among comics and animation artists who interprets a storyline into a pictorial scene. Now that you have seen how visualization and juxtapositioning is carried out using two techniques, you may now proceed to make your own assignment. Please share the photos and videos of your artworks on our FB group using the hashtag SOA Visual Arts. See you again on our next lesson. Bye for now.
I was walking down the road one day. Happy people smile along the way.
All right, so there you have it, guys. Lesson 2 of Module 3 on visualizing drawing.
As always, we'd like you to keep in touch with us on our official Facebook group by posting some photos and stories related to the SOA. And so please be reminded that you only submit pre-test, post-test quizzes, pictures of your drawings and poetry, plus resource person's evaluation on the Google Classroom. All questions and comments, kindly post it on our group. And by the way, today pong basa ko ng message kanina ni Ma'am from Southern Leyte, Ma'am Melba, Napuli. Thank you kuno sa motivation, ganina nila atong activity.
Yes.
All right. Okay, and also to those who have missed answering the learning assessments and resource person evaluation, napamatoy gamay, so please accomplish them, ma'ams and sirs, and our participants.
All right, so at this point, Buwan, let us have with us our subject matter expert, Sir Jude, for the assignment.
Nagkuha naman siya ng assignment to. Siguro, kuha na lang, let's, just like our
Okay.
previous mga learning sessions, so let's have someone from our participants to ask questions. So,
Alright.
open forum na ni siya, mga participants. Alright. So, our resource person, Sir Jude, is already with us. So, if you have any questions or clarifications, if naglibog pa mo unsa ang juxtapositioning,
Visualization,
so
you can ask Sir
you can
Jude
ask
now.
questions, Okay, so maybe let's call on from Baybay City Division. I think napay mga message nato about sa signal. Is your signal all okay na diha sa inyong location?
So para sa mga nakamiss, Buwan, kung nihina ang ilang signal, you can just rewatch the video, and if FB link provided to you, so ato nang gi-send sa atong group chat, and it's also shared sa atong Facebook group.
Okay. All right, so for our further discussion, so let's have someone from Baybay City, division. So one kuan gihapon,
One teacher and one student. All right, so let's start from the Baybay City Schools Division.
Or if you can also type sa atong chat box,
Yes.
Just like sa atong game ganina. So mas daghan ang nag-interact,
Sa
Okay.
chat box. All right.
Yeah. So please feel free to post in your questions, So this goes to our participants from Southern Leyte and Baybay divisions.
All right, so here's a question
From
coming
Sir
from
Exuperio P. Abunda, if the word love can be turned into a drawing, can other words too?
Sir Jude.
Hello. Thank you for that question. Okay, I think it's from a teacher. Is it from a teacher?
Yes,
who
sir.
asked?
Yes, from So Good National High School, Sir Exuperio.
Okay, good afternoon, sir, from Sugod National High School. love was the only example that I shared. Um, Visualization and juxtapositioning can be used on any word or concept. And uh, for your assignment, which will be posted on Google Classroom, there is actually a procedure there on how to carry out your assignment. And I think there are 4 concepts or word that I shared there that I want you to perform for that particular assignment. Okay, so we are not only limited to the word love. That is just an example. I only used one concept or word for my demo because it will take a very long time for the activity to be rendered for this very short period of instruction. I'm only given a maximum of 30 minutes to share the content. No? So you can actually use other words. You can attempt in using other words. And so far, I only use the word love because I think it's the most common word that we encounter, and there's even a celebration for that, which is a Valentine's Day. And if you noticed, the way I visualized and juxtaposed the word love is through the use of basic shapes. No? So when we try to visualize and juxtapose a word or concept, we have to use our mind's eye. And I think I have mentioned that one last Monday, that we have to use our artist's mind when we try to visualize, and at the same time use our eyes to be very observant. So it's one of the requirements that I shared to you in the 6 techniques of basic shapes. No? So one of the biggest issues right now among people is that there are people who tell themselves that they don't have a mind's eye. So there are people, when they close their eyes, they can't see anything. No? So there is actually a disease. There's actually a disease called aphantasia. Okay, aphantasia is a condition, a psychological condition wherein people have the absence of the mind's eye. A normal person, especially artists, when you close your eyes, you can see images. You can imagine events as you close your eyes. It's really very important in visualization that you have a mind's eye, because if you're planning something for a design, if you're planning for a painting, if you're planning for a drawing, and you close your eyes and you see nothing, I think there's a problem. No, so it's a matter actually also of trying to analyze whether you have focus or concentration or not. No, so the biggest problem sometimes with people when they say I can't visualize something is that you are full of distraction. No? When you say distraction, dagagsamok sa imong utok, dagagsamok sa imong vision. So usually when you're going to create a painting or a drawing for an exhibit or for an assignment, give your time to relax. No? And in my example also, I used a shell of a Japanese snail for the first exercise. It's actually one of the visualization technique for people who have difficulty in trying to imagine a particular concept. So on a personal note, if I have some difficulty in visualizing an idea, what I do is I read books, I look at works of other artists, or I go out, I go to the mall, or during the face-to-face times. So right now we can just go out to the mall anytime, but you can go out to the beach, you can go out to the forest, or go out of your house, look at things for inspiration. So once you get an inspiration, you use your camera or your cell phone camera, take a photo of that, then take it home, then study the object, and draw inspiration from that. No? So in my example, I used a shell. I converted the shell into a vase and a spaceship because when I see the shell, in my mind's eye, I can visualize and can think of the word vessel. No? So the word vessel is both a container and at the same time, a vessel could also mean like a vehicle. So I used the shell to visualize a vase and a spaceship, coining the concept that arrived in my mind, that is the word vessel. And for the other part, the other technique, I used the word love. So from a word, I tried to relate love as two circles and an inverted triangle. So I was able to form the heart. And the heart, if it's full of love, it's full of happiness. So I visualized that the heart should be paired with a flower. And I chose the rose as my flower. And then I surrounded the heart with roses, and then added another concept about love, which is the cupid and the arrow, which is a symbolism of love being hit by love. Maigo kas gugma. And then I added the arrow that pierced into the heart. And eventually, I came up with a phrase, love on Valentine's Day. So that's how you try to visualize and juxtapose words and pictures and concepts in your mind's eye. So I hope I answered your question. Okay, my answer is very lengthy so that I can cover virtually other sub questions that other participants had asked a while ago in the chat box.
All right, thank you so
Thank
much
you, sir.
for that answer, Sir Jude. No, and by the way, participants, I already typed it, or I already uploaded also the learning exercise to our Facebook group, no, so that you can also see. So nana sa ato ang Facebook group ang learning exercise for module lesson 2, module
Module
3.
three.
All right.
We have a feedback here coming from Sir Rooney Jade. Visualization and juxtapositioning are good techniques to exercise one's creativity. Thank you, Sir Jude, for sharing this.
Right, from Banahaw National High School, no? Can we question Sir Jude, no? Can we visualize anything we see, big and small?
Visualization is not dependent on the size. Visualization is limitless. Okay? We always tell ourselves, we always tell other artists na ang pag-iisip or imagination has no limit. So your imagination is not strapped, or it's not confined to something small or big. No? So you can think as big as the universe, or you can think as small as an atom if you like. So you are the one dictating your mind's eye. No? So wala siya. Okay.
All right. Okay, so another question. This one's from Southern Leyte, no? From Al Christian Escol. Are there only 2 techniques of visualization and just juxtapositioning?
For this lesson, I only shared the 2 basic techniques. One is the use of actual objects, and the other is the use of words. No, every artist has his or her own way of trying to visualize or juxtapose things. No, so but since we are dealing here with students and teachers, and we would like that this SOA will be very exploratory. As I've said last Monday, I'm trying to avoid spoon feeding everything, and I'm encouraging everyone to start reflecting and pondering on the lessons that I've shared. And of course, one of the 6 basic techniques that I've shared last Monday is education, observation, and imitation. And they are actually additional elements that you can use for your visualization and juxtapositioning. No? So what I'm encouraging participants is that whatever technique is shared in this SOA, it doesn't mean nga mo na gana siya ang ultimate, mo na gana siya ang wall, no? So don't try to block yourself like facing a blank wall every time you receive an information. So this is just the foundation, no? So the 2 techniques are foundational, meaning they are being taught as starting points for you to explore more techniques and use your creativity thereafter.
Okay, thank you, Sir Jude. Here's another question. Is juxtaposition similar to doodle art?
Doodle art is a kind of approach, no, a kind of technique. But if you treat doodle art as a way of trying to explore ideas, then we can say that it's related to visualization rather than juxtapositioning. Because in doodle art, once you try to put your lines on paper and automatically your hand is subconsciously being dictated by how your mind's eye try to visualize, you will be surprised that you can come up with something amazing. No? So sometimes artists will say na nakahimo ko ani nga art out of accident, but actually it's not accidental. Accidental lang siya because na-surprised lang ta na atong mind's eye was able to visualize that idea. But we have to remember na everything that we do with our hand is based from our previous experiences, based on what we see, based on what we have imagined, based on what we have learned. So doodle art is actually a visualization approach for some people, no. Sa doodle art manggod, you're still using the basic shapes, but spontaneous siya, no. Dili siya spontaneous ang sa doodle art. It's just sometimes they call it doodle art, but for me I call it as thumbnail sketching. When you say thumbnail sketching, kana bang sa usa ka pahina sa notebook na maghimo kag mga ginagmay-gagmay nga mga elements, mga ginagmay-gagmay drawing, hantod mapuno na nimo sa ka page. And then from all those little doodles that you had made on the page, mupili ka dihag usa or duha nga imong pick out, tapos i-develop nimo as a full-blown concept or drawing sa next na page. So, ingunahan na siyang technique. Actually, kung mag-design tag logo, no, we try to doodle our ideas. We try to come up with ideas inspired by the rational or objective of a concept, and then mukuha tag inspiration from ideas of others, then use the basic shapes until finally nga from all those different doodles in one page, 100 or more or 1,000 doodles, in the end maka-arrive ra ta og atong favorite nga atong mahimong entry sa atong logo design. Pero ang ako lang yung advice para sa mga mahilig mag-doodle is that kailangan ang inyong doodling, okay? Kailangan ang inyong doodling na ay katapusan. Okay? Because what most young artists do is that they doodle and doodle the whole day, tapos ang ending walay output kay kutob ra sa doodling because they can't make up their mind. So, ang technique diha when you doodle, come up with your top 3 favorites, and out of the top 3 you develop more, and then as a personal judge, kamo mismo ang mag-judge sa inyong trabaho. Kung magkalisod yun mag-judge, ask a friend or ask a teacher to tell you nga, ma'am, sir, or friend, asa man dinhi nga doodle na ko or design inspiration kaha ang pinakamaayo because I'm going to choose an entry for a logo design. No? So it's only then nga kung nailaing tao nga motanaw sa imong trabaho, matambagan ka when to stop and when to accept nga ang doodling na ay katapusan. Dili nga ang doodling walay katapusan. Doodling have an ending. Doodling have a goal. Doodling should have a product in the end. Dili nga doodling nga pag-uman si rad-an nimo and you're still stumped and nothing to produce. No? So muna siya.
All right, thank you so much, Sir Jude. And here's a question from Madeline Gilbuena. No, how can we draw and do the juxtapositioning if we have a distracted mind? I think distracted ang meaning siya niya, no? Na-distract ka.
So, in our first module, Ma'am Marwin has taught us about how we have to handle stress and depression and anxiety. Okay, so most of the time, distractions are caused by lack of relaxation, no? when you say lack of relaxation, you have to, when you start doing something, when you start doing a visual arts project, okay, you have to be sure that you have freed your mind from all the distractions, or freed your physical body from all the distractions. So meaning, when we create art, it's not by accident that we just sit there in our chair and in front of the table and draw. Um, Visual arts, making visual arts, whether it's a project or lingaw-lingaw lang, it's actually one way of trying to relax our nerves. It tries to slow us down, no? So on a personal note, ako lang i-cite ang akong kaugalingon. I'll use myself as a guinea pig for this explanation. In my busy schedule, how do I try to paint? Okay, to tell you honestly, I paint daily. Okay, I paint daily, but I don't share that one to the social media. Okay, I paint daily, but I don't inform people that I paint daily. Okay, it's actually part of my daily routine. Okay, pag uli na ako gikan sa opisina, butang na ko akong gamit, magtrabaho ko gamay sa balay, unsay mga responsibility, mamisbis, mag-garden, etc. Then after all the tasks are done, kunya kung naapaglaing mga buhatonon, mga trabaho related to office, as much as possible, tanang mga trabaho sa opisina, biyaan sa opisina. Tanang trabaho sa opisina dapat mahuman or dili, i-continue the next day. But as much as possible, if you are an artist, if you want to really practice your craft, discipline is the key in order not to be distracted from your art. No? Disiplina gyud ang kailangan. Kung gusto gyud ka ma-perfect sa imong art, disiplina ang kailangan, because if you mix your art with your other tasks, you will never be able to make an art. So ang akong ginabuhat, it's either I leave my work in the office or tiwason sa gyud ang mga trabahoon sa opisina, and then when everything is okay, I dedicate an hour or two in my art. No, so manay giingon nga, hala, wa jud ko'y nahuman nga painting, wa jud ko'y nahuman nga drawing, kay busy kay ko sa opisina, busy kay ko sa eskwelahan. But the only thing that stops you from completing an artwork, from finishing an output, especially a drawing or a painting, is just plain laziness or lack of time management. No, so as I always tell my students, there's no other secret in order to perfect your craft as an artist but to practice every day. No, it's like training yourself to become Superman or superhuman, but if you dare to practice that one, if you dare to organize your time and you try to organize everything, kana bitang pag-abot nimo sa balay, dapat naay lugar sa imong balay nga dedicated only for art. So some artists complain that I cannot make art because samok ang balay. Because samok ang balay ninyo because in the first place, wala ka nagbutang og lugar sa inyong balay nga makatrabaho ka. So it's doing something nga to make it realistic. No? So kana bang pag-abot nimo sa balay, dapat na-jud kay lugar nga kung mahuman na ka sa imong mga trabaho, muadto lang ka, you just go there and have space to paint. No? So, and sometimes people will say, dili ko ka-paint, kay samok kay ako mga anak, ako mga pag-umangkon, magsamok-samok na ako. So that means nga, kanang lugar, nimo diha sa inyong balay, it's not the proper place to paint for you. You have to look for another space. So perhaps, you put your painting or drawing space in the office instead sa inyong balay, kaysa inyong opisina mas, or sa inyong school, or sa laing building within close by na ay lugar, no? So it's just a matter of doing, no? It's just a matter of personal decision nga maka-produce tag artwork, no? So if you don't do it, then walay resulta. If you don't make marks on a surface, walay resulta. Mo na nga giingon nga kutobras imagination. So to make things real, you have to really do it, no? Do it. Okay.
All right, thank you so much
thank
for
you.
that, Sir Jude. And actually, no, ako po, guilty as charged ito.
Guilty si
I think
Juan.
siguro our participants are also sometimes, no, they can relate, no, to what Sir Jude has said nga there are times nga we become lax or we don't find time to really practice. And again, no, Sir Jude said that we need to practice, practice, practice in order to become better, no, and to better our skills.
Yes.
Okay.
Another question, Bueno.
Yeah.
Yes. How significant, sir, are visualization and juxtapositioning for beginners in visual arts?
Okay, the significance of visualization and juxtapositioning for beginners in visual art, it's the basic foundation to develop one's mind's eye, no? Mabito na nga ang mga tao nga mao pay pagsugod, it's their starting time in visual arts, and sometimes they tell themselves, how do I start? So the technique that I've shared to you this afternoon is actually opening the door for you on how to start. So with those two techniques, no? So kana bitang magsitag, imagine gusto ko mag-paint, but what am I going to paint? Okay? Or moingon ninyong teacher, okay, mag-art exhibit ta. Unya pag-ahuman ang estudyante moingon, sir, unsa may akong i-paint? So it's either the teacher will give an idea to the students, and most of the time an art teacher will give a theme for the students, especially for students na mo pay first time na mo-appeal og art exhibit or mo-appeal og art activity. Usually, the teachers can help facilitate in giving a theme. So for example, maingon nga, for example, ang inyong lugar is doon sa dagat and you would like people to realize that conserving or preserving or protecting our marine ecosystem is an important theme for the whole community. Then the teacher will say, okay, ang atong theme sa atong artwork karon is about oceans. So what can you think about oceans? So kana mismo nga mga pangutanan sa teacher ninyo nga, what can you think about oceans? What lives in the ocean? What needs to be protected? What are the things that we should avoid in order for us not to destroy our oceans? These are actually questions trying to encourage visualization and juxtapositioning. So on the part of the students pod, once nakakuha na ka og idea gikan sa inyong teacher nga mo na siya theme sa inyong art exhibit or project, the next step that you will do is you do your research. So dili man pwede nga si ma'am lang tanan ang mo research para ninyo. So an artist is a person nga dili lang kamao mag-painting o drawing. Ang artist is also a person who knows how to do research, how to read, how to analyze, how to experiment, and then finally makakam up ra kagdaghan kay mga ideas. So the more ideas that you can generate, the more is the gift that will arrive to you in terms of visualization and juxtapositioning. So visualization and juxtapositioning is very important for beginner artists because it tries to sharpen their thinking skills and seeing skills when it comes to generating ideas for their artworks.
All right, thank you so much for that answer, Sir Jude. And also just to follow up, no, kini siyang visualization and juxtapositioning is actually key, no, to create an artwork. I think if you ask me, no, ang juxtapositioning and visualization is not really that hard, no. Ang atong like what we in our activity earlier, no, about visualizing things that or concepts that you have in mind. It just flowed, no, based on the responses that we got. So I think the key there is also to how to put that on paper, how to express that in an art form, no? Because we have our minds are really kuan magyud, no? Kitang tanan naman gitay huna-huna, and we have different viewpoints or views on a certain matter or a certain subject, no? Okay, from Shaira Marie Mark, I think we only have one more, no, question before we end this learning session. So yung question is this kind of technique in manipulating one's original shape or just making nice or showing creativeness? I don't know sa man yang wako kasabot.
Okay. I got the question.
Okay.
I think her question is, okay, that's a very interesting question. Her question is about the use of basic shapes, whether mag-basic shapes ta for the sake of creating something beautiful or manipulation. Actually, the use of basic shapes as well as combining it with juxtapositioning, and visualization is teaching you how to create a framework. Imagine na lang guna ninyo ang lawas sa tao, no? Nanong ang tao makatindog man, nanong ang tao makabarog man. It's because of the skeleton inside the body of the person. Kanang basic shapes, mura na siya og skeleton sa usa ka drawing. Having basic knowledge or fundamental knowledge of the basic shapes is to enable you to copy or draw things in the correct proportion and shapes, no? Ka-notice mo nga kung diretso lang dayon mo drawing without the use of outlines and basic shapes, it's either dili ninyo masintro ang inyong drawing sa bond paper or di magkadimao ang proportion. So, I think all of the artists who participated in this SOA have experienced at least once unsaon pagdrawing og nawong sa tao. Unsa may una nga step, unsa may basic shapes nga atong gamiton sa pagdrawing og nawong sa tao. Ang una natong gamiton is ang oblong. Pagkahuman ang oblong atong i-divide into four basic parts, no? So ang central nga line sa to nga will represent the line for the eyes, and then we put another line in between two spaces, in between the space para sa ilong ug sa baba. So those are basic shapes. They are serving as guidelines not just for the sake of producing something beautiful, but actually ang ato mga basic shapes are the basic foundations, framework, skeleton of our drawing. Without understanding the skeleton or what's inside a drawing, dili nato mapurma ang atong mga figures. And another thing, when we try to use the basic shape, combining it with visualization and juxtapositioning, makamanipulate ta. Kay na naman tayo imagination sa itong una-una, naka-visualize naman ta. Ang ato na lang kuwang is how to assemble the skeleton of the object that we're trying to draw. And then pagkahuman, kanang atong giform ng mga basic shapes, ato ng puston o outline kaya para mapurma ang shape. No? So, kanabang ang tulan, ang bukog, atong butang agpanit. Ang panit mo ng atong outline. And then, after putting the outline, atong i-erase ang mga guidelines sa atong basic shape, pagkahuman, butangan na nato siya volume. Kay ang object, di man siya realistic tan-awon kung wala siya shading. So, we now introduce shading to our object, to our outline, kaya para our drawing looks solid. So, going back to that, it's not merely for just showing the skill of in drawing or pa-style-style na siya. Ang basic shapes is the basic foundation, the skeleton for all the drawings and paintings that you will be working in the future. And the best way to illustrate or to portray nature, to show what is the real condition of our environment, to express our mind's eye, to express our feelings is to really master these fundamentals. No? So anyway, sa atong mga future nga mga modules, there are still other exercises wherein you can further appreciate the basic foundations, and of course, some techniques that you haven't encountered yet will also be introduced in the other modules. So don't worry about that.
Alright, thank you so much for that, Sir Jude. No? So again, no, kailangan yun, necessary yun nga makibaw to sa fundamentals. Kay, as siguro, just an example, as what Sir Jude mentioned, no, nga, when you're drawing a human face, no, dili makamuuna sa mata dayon siguro. Basta nang uban na yung mag-una sa mata, pero that's, I don't know if it works for them. Ikaw man, mga hibat na. Anyways.
Pag-utang na sana sa api ko, nangipat na.
So you have to know the different proportions and the relationship, no, of each shapes to one another, no, to form a more cohesive and proportioned face, no. So siguro nagsugod sila una sa mga mata usa pa sa mga sa naong na gyud. So anyways, siguro in the next lessons, no? So mas ma-challenge pa ang atong mga artists. Alright, so don't worry about that, no.
Okay.
So darating tayo diyan.
So thank you, Sir Jude, and of course thank you guys, no, for those who
thank you.
Through questions. Thank you. So that will be our format, no, in the succeeding learning sessions. Ang atong participants will have to ask questions, and of course our resource person will answer those questions. So this is also an opportunity, no, to further discuss discuss the topic and in turn make the lesson even more understandable and meaningful.
That's actually what happened no sa atong mga discussions and it came to light ang mga
Yes.
questions nila, and then those were answered by Sir Jude, and of course dili lang ato mga participants learn something, I also learned something no.
Yes, as artists. Okay, so before we end our session, please be reminded to log on to your Zoom sessions ahead of time, starting 2:30 or 2:45 p.m. so you will not be late in our class at 3 p.m.
And also guys, on the next session nato no, so every Friday is our assessment day, so please refer to your notes if you haven't had any notes, so you can go back to our previous sessions, so 2 sessions including this one, and check no unsa tong mga concepts nga gihatag ni Sir Jude, what were the techniques no that were provided to you or that were shared to you.
Yes, you can rewatch the video no sa atong official Facebook page, and it's also posted man sa atong Facebook group.
So mo nakanindot ani sa ato ang School on the Air no nga kuan na natay Facebook Live, as opposed to just sa radio lang kay di mo mabalik.
Yes, so ma-replay pa nimo jud no ang imong na-miss nga lesson. All right? So
yep, so see you on the next learning session that will be on Friday, July 30. Correct, 30, no? At exactly 3 in the afternoon, Philippine Standard Time. So that wraps up our session for today for our School on the Air on Visual Arts. I'm Buen Andrade.
And I'm Perlin Fernandez. See you then, only here at DWDC FM 104.7. Thank you, aloha, and have a great day. Bye!
I was walking down the road